yarn lovers! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this super cute baby blanket. This pattern is designed for absolute beginners, so if you have learned the basics and are ready for your first project, this pattern is for you. The blanket is crocheted in colour changing yarn that does all the work for you. So I'm going to be using this Hedgerow Chunky yarn by King Cole, and for the border, Paint Box yarn Simply Chunky in this cream colour. You're going to need a 7mm hook, some scissors and a darning needle to sew in those ends. So we're going to start by putting a slip knot on our hook. So we just loop the yarn round, take the tail underneath the loop and then put that onto a hook and pull. To make a good sized baby blanket I chained 89, so you're just going to keep chaining until you have the correct number of stitches. You can check out the written pattern for all the different sizes, or you can just chain as wide as you want your blanket to be. There is no stitch count for this, so you just keep chaining until you've got the correct number of stitches that you need. So I'm just going to crochet a small swatch today to show you how to make the blanket. So we've got our starting chain, and I'm going to start by putting a half double crochet in the second chain from our hook. So we don't count this loop on a hook. So this is our first chain and this is our second chain. So for a half double crochet we will yarn over. We will put our hook into that second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all of those loops. Oops. And we're going to repeat this all the way across. So yarn over, hook goes into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all of those loops. So we're simply going to repeat this all the way across. With a half double crochet in each stitch. So I've worked all the way across with a half double crochet in each stitch. We're ready to start row 2. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. This chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, it's just there to get us up to the height of the next row. And now we're going to start in this very first stitch with a half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, hook goes into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all of those loops. And we're going to continue with a half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. And this is the row that you're going to repeat for the entirety of your blanket. So it's simply half double crochet in each stitch. So just coming up to the end of the row, be careful not to miss this last stitch of the row. It can be a bit easy to miss. So we're just going to put a half double crochet into that last stitch, and then we'll chain 1 and turn. And again, that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. So we're just going to go ahead and repeat this with a half double crochet in each stitch for the length of the blanket. So for the size of the blanket that I made, I kept going until my blanket measured around about 85 inches. But if you're working from the pattern, you can just check which length you need for your size. Now at some point during your blanket you're going to get to the end of your yarn ball, so I'm going to show you how to change colours. I'm going to do this just with this other colour just so that you can see easier. So let's imagine that I've got about this much left of my yarn, so it's time to think about joining in a new ball. So all we're going to do is work the first part of the stitch. So we'll yarn over, put your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then instead of yarning over and pulling through with this yarn, you're simply going to do that with the new ball. So you'll lay the yarn over the hook and then pull through all of those loops to finish that stitch. And then what I like to do is just tie a little knot with the two tails just to keep it in place until I'm ready to sew the ends in. And then you'll continue with a new yarn with a half double crochet in each stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few more rows to my swatch. So you go ahead and finish your blanket, and I'll meet you back when you're ready to start the border. I've worked a few extra rows to my swatch. Now there isn't really a wrong or right side to your blanket, as they both sides look exactly the same. So whichever side you end up on, this will become the right side of your blanket. So first of all, we're going to start off our border by chaining 1, and we're now going to start working across this raw edge of the blanket. Now you want to put, for every 2 rows, 3 stitches. So you're going to put a single crochet close to this corner, so your hook goes in, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we're going to put another one here. That's for our second, and then our third stitch in the side of this row here. Whoops. So we've got 1 row here, another row here, and we've got 3 single crochet stitches. So we're going to continue doing this all the way across. Evenly spacing our single crochet stitches all the way across the side. So you're going to keep going until you get to the first corner of your blanket. So you want your last single crochet stitch to be right up against that corner. We're then going to chain 2. This is going to be our corner space, and we'll work into this in the following round. Now we're going to be working into the bottom of our foundation chain. So we can see this is our first stitch here. So we're going to put our hook in and put a single crochet in there. And we're going to work a single crochet into each of the loops along the bottom of the blanket. So keep working with a single crochet in each stitch all the way across to the next corner. So I'm just putting a single crochet into that last stitch, and now as we're at the corner, we're going to chain 2 for that corner space, and then just like we did across this edge, we're going to put a single crochet. We're going to single crochet evenly across the edge. So for every 2 rows, 3 single crochet stitches. So I've worked all the way across that edge, and we're now at our corner again, and we're going to chain 2 for that corner space, and now we're going to work into that first half double crochet from the top of our blanket, and we're going to put a single crochet in there, and then continue with a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So I've worked all the way across. We're now at our final corner, so I'm going to chain 2 for that last corner space, and then join with a slip stitch to this first single crochet at the side here. So we're just going to put my hook in, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the one on our hook for a slip stitch. We can now fasten off this yarn, and we're ready to add the final edging to our border. So we can fasten off. And for a bit of contrast, we're using this cream yarn for the border. So you'll want to put a slip knot on your hook, and you're going to be looking for any of the corner spaces, any of the chain 2 spaces for the corners is where we're going to start, and I'm going to put my hook in and just put a single crochet straight into that corner like so, and I'm going to put 2 more single crochet into that same corner space for a total of 3 single crochet. And now we're simply going to work around the edge of our blanket with a single crochet in each stitch. It's a nice simple edging, perfect for beginners. So you're just going to keep going until you get to that next corner. And just like we did in the other corner space, we're going to put 3 single crochet all into that same space. And then we're going to start working across this side with a single crochet in each stitch. So you go ahead and work around your blanket with a single crochet in each stitch, and in each corner 3 single crochet, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to finish the round. Once you've worked all the way around, we're simply going to join with a slip stitch to this first single crochet. So just pop your hook in, pull up a loop and draw that loop through, and then fasten off. And all that's left to do is to sew in those ends. So you want to use a large darning needle, turn your work over to the wrong side, and just pop those ends, just thread it through. And I like to just go through a few stitches of the same colour that the tail is, so you don't notice it so much. Just go through a few stitches one way, back the other way. And then you can just fasten that off, just trim that tail. And once you're finished, your blanket should look something like this. So if you would like to get the written pattern with all of the sizes, it's available in my online stores. There's also a free version on the blog. I will leave all the links in the description for the pattern and all of the yarn. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you would like to see more blanket tutorials, then be sure to check out this playlist next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.